Guys, so Harry and Meghan are returning to the UK, and apparently they're bringing the children. So I want you to get really, really excited, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Are you excited yet? They are compelled to get attention. They do not operate and function in any way other than getting attention. They need it almost as much as they need oxygen, okay? But again, if he wants to reconcile with his son, great. Reconcile with him. But what people don't want to see is public reconciliation in the way of reinstatement into the family. That's what people don't want. So getting back to Charles's guilt, that's what he lost and that's what he's pissed off about. But he still gets security when he comes. It's just not the style that he wants, because that's what William has. And what William has, Harry wants. So that's what's going on here. So she had to be really, really desperate to unveil this disgusting concoction. And I was scratching my head. I was like, what is this? This looks so unbelievable. What is this sludge? It looks disgusting. But the way that they do it is so different from the way that Meghan is doing it on her socials and on her website. And I just felt like, wait a minute, if someone had never heard of this beverage and just saw what Meghan was doing, they would be like, that's disgusting. That looks like sludge. It literally looks like vomit in a glass, right? But there's a way to do it that actually sounds really, really yummy. And the way that you're supposed to do it. Guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jennifer. So happy you're here. I want you to curl up and relax and just have some fun with me. It is so stinking hot here this week in Germany. It's literally been about 94 degrees for the past 4 days. And if you know anything about Europe, they don't have air conditioning here, okay? So we keep windows open as much as we can, curtains drawn, to keep out direct sunlight during the heat of the day. It's just been nuts. It's been absolutely nuts. This is not the land of AC the way it is in the States. Absolutely not. However, the building that we do live in, it's a post-World War II big unit, and the walls are super, super thick. They're like concrete thick. So it does remain fairly cool. You would actually be surprised, but anywho, I am just sweating like a mother over here. But just wanted to relax, just wanted to catch up with you guys. And there's been a lot that I have been watching and reading this past week, and two main things that I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about Harry and Meghan and the supposed invisible children going back to the UK. That's the first big story. The second story is that goopy, gummy, gelatinous looking strawberry matcha disaster that Meghan was selling on her As Ever website, but ta-da, it's sold out apparently. So maybe her little scheme worked. Who knows how many units she was actually trying to move, but I did just a little investigating on the history of this green tea matcha strawberry milk frothy foamy beverage. And the way that she is showing people how to make this so-called concoction on her As Ever website and on her Instagram is 100% the wrong way to make it. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about that and how her version of that wildly popular beverage. And at first, when I saw her post about it on Instagram and saw that set for sale on her website, I was like, this looks really unappetizing. This looks weird. Like, is this some kind of weird Meghanized version of something that's actually out there that can be done better? And ta-da! There is a version out there that she is imitating, but she's not doing it justice. That is not how you should enjoy that beverage. So I want to just talk a little bit about that. And then also at the end of the video, I just want to give you a little bit of a personal life update, stuff that's going on with me, stuff that's going to be going on with the channel. I think I'm going to make a dedicated video to it, just talking about that, because there's going to be a little bit of a slowdown in the next few months, and it has to do with us leaving Germany and going back to the States. We're supposed to be here for 3 years. It is now turned into just the 1 year. So this next month, July, will mark our 1 year anniversary here in Germany. If you've ever moved a family internationally, you know exactly how difficult and crazy of a time it can be. Not really looking forward to it, and yeah, so let's get into this, okay? Because I think we need a little bit of kind of talk therapy through these latest Harry and Meghan headlines, because Team Sussex, you guys, is at it again. So let's get into the first story. Okay, I'm editing and I have to throw this in there because Father's Day just passed. Happy Father's Day to all the dads listening. We get this from Meghan on Father's Day. Another back of the head blurry photo. This is a cute picture, okay? We'll give them that. It is a cute picture. There are children involved, no matter how they came into the world, allegedly. So very, very cute. But the thing that makes it exhausting, even more so than being cute, is the fact that we've seen this over and over and over and over and over again. If she wants to mix it up a little bit, can you just maybe put the kids in something that is a little bit more dressy? Does one or both have to always be barefoot? Does it always have to be like this? And moreover, that's what really was glaring to me. Always got to be blurry, always got to be back of the head. One of them has to be, or both, no shoes, always super, super, super casual. And now she's advertising on the back of Archie's shirt. I mean, please. We're so lucky to have you. That's what she says. They're so lucky to have you. We all are. Happy Father's Day to our one and only. What she wrote in the caption, what are you reading from that? Because I'll tell you instantly what I'm reading from that. The first sentence is, they're so lucky to have you, meaning Archie and Lily. They're lucky. And then the second sentence, we all are. That's Meghan calling attention to herself. She could have put the one sentence saying, we all love you so much, or something to that effect, but she had to separate herself from the children because this is her Instagram account, her grid. She's got to put herself out there. She has to. And to our one and only. Okay, fine, fair enough. Have your Father's Day moment. Happy Father's Day, Harry, wherever you are. Hopefully you weren't locked up in the attic and the old wifey let you out. I've said it before, the whole flowers in the attic routine, getting really old, Meghan. Okay, this is really creepy. But the other thing that's kind of creepy, and I hate going into this tinfoil hat conspiracy theory road, but this has got to be an old picture because these kids don't look like they've grown much in the last year or so. I mean, why is it that in some pictures Archie and Lily look the same height, and then in other pictures she looks a lot smaller? This is just weird. They're in the line of succession. It's absurd that she is obscuring them in the first place. Like I said before, just release a picture, a normal picture once a year, okay? Especially if they're going to continue to be in the line, because for no other reason, Meghan, that's what the public expects. But this weirdness, are they growing? Are they not growing? What age are they? I'm already hearing all these people out there talking, saying, oh, these pictures are old. They're like years old. And it's like she could stop all of this. But she doesn't want to. But then let's contrast it with this. Look at this beautiful, forward-facing, wonderful photo that the Prince and Princess of Wales's account put out for both Father's Day and William's birthday. Happy birthday and Father's Day to the best papa in the world. We love you very much. CGC and L. Very, very sweet. Look how sweet little Charlotte is, and look how tall little Charlotte is. She is going to be an absolute stunner. I mean, look at her parents, but first and foremost, look at her mother. Her mother, I mean, I've often said to my mom, Catherine is literally, she's a walking clothes hanger. She can wear anything and pull it off. She can wear a burlap sack and pull it off. She's just got that model body, tall, lean. You know, people are criticizing her, saying that she's lost too much weight over the past few years. The woman battled cancer. A lot of times chemotherapy takes away appetite. It's a huge appetite suppressant. I know. I wish I would have lost more weight during my therapy, but
point being, when you go through something like that, so many systems in your body get affected. But you know what? Catherine's always been lean and athletic. So lay off of Catherine, okay? She still has definition in her arms and legs. She's athletic. She's healthy. And not only that, she's drop dead gorgeous. And look at the daughter that her DNA, well, and William, of course, but we're talking about Catherine here. Look at the daughter that she's produced. And here's the thing, you guys. There's people out in the royal commentary community that maybe I'll never go down that toxic evil route. I'm not going to discuss the appearance of a kid versus another kid. And you know what? I can't even say for certain how cute Archie and Lily really are. And why is that? Because we've never seen their faces. I mean, we only see the back of the head and side profiles. And all we do see is them, in various states of what looks like, disarray. They're never really dressed up. Okay, their mother never really takes the time to dress them up and take pride in their appearance for them. I mean, they're at her behest, they have to go along with whatever she's doing. She always makes sure that in her mind, she's looking the best she can, but she doesn't give that same courtesy to her children. But it's such a contrast. So I'm not trying to say that, William and Catherine's children are so much cuter and no, not at all. I'm sure if we ever got to really see an official picture of Archie and Lily, they would be very sweet, very cute. What child isn't? But we can't say for sure, can we? All we can do is speculate, and all the internet can do is produce these wild theories about how they came into the world, was it by surrogacy? Was it by adoption? How come they weren't properly vetted the way that William and Catherine's children are? Blah, blah, blah. It's emotionally exhaustive. But this is the position, the precarious position that Archie and Lily's parents have put them in, made them this center of this firestorm of controversy, and ultimately gone against what Harry and Meghan always are proclaiming about privacy, privacy, privacy. Well, they're doing nothing but destroying any type of real semblance of privacy that these two kids could ever hope to enjoy. All very sad, but it's very nice to see William and Catherine giving us beautiful photographs, tasteful manner, showing the public the next generation of the monarchy. Very beautiful to look at. I just really hope wherever Archie and Lily are, that they are being nurtured, that they are being protected, because that whole situation going on from an outside perspective, very, very creepy. But anyway, let's get back to the video.
Okay, you guys. So Harry and Meghan are returning to the UK, and apparently they're bringing the children. So I want you to get really, really excited, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Are you excited yet? Are you excited? It's like Madonna from my last video. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Oh, and you're like, yeah, I'm ready. Okay. What do your kids look like, guys? Great. Okay. But anyway, so we got Yahoo Entertainment. Prince Harry is facing great sadness ahead of UK return. Source. Okay. GB News. Prince Harry warned trip to the UK is a new tactic that could backfire. You think? GB News. What do we have next? People. King Charles has offered Prince Harry and Meghan Markle royal accommodation for UK visit. BBC. Harry and Meghan to bring children to UK next month. All right, you guys. First and foremost, this is yet again a desperate bid for relevance and attention. So all jokes and kidding aside, it's sad. This is where we find ourselves when the phone doesn't ring in Montecito and no one knows your name. It's not like Cheers. Okay, well, people know their name. They just don't want to call them up or invite them anywhere or get any new projects going. We got to call it what it is. This whole U.S. endeavor for the last 6 years has not worked out for these two. So it's clinging to royal relevance. That's all it is. And it's actually abusing his family. It's using his family for clout. Again, calling it what it is. So why is he coming? Why is Harry coming? You remember he told us last May when he lost his bid for security that he couldn't conceive of bringing his family to the UK at that point because it just wasn't safe in his eyes. They weren't getting the level of security and protection that they needed, and he just could not fathom bringing them back. So a little over a year later, and ta-da, he's back. Now, he didn't have to release statements to BBC, to People, to all the traditional outlets, the Telegraph, what have you. They didn't have to do that, but they're doing it because, again, desperate bid for royal relevance. On the surface, he's coming for that Invictus event in Birmingham in July. What a waste of time, money, and resources. All they're doing is increasing their carbon footprint by coming out here. We don't need to see you come out to Birmingham to announce an event that's happening a year from now. That is the most ridiculous thing it's absurd on its face. You could zoom it in, Harold. That is ridiculous, but that's officially why he's coming. But it's also emotional blackmail. Okay? He knows that Charles wants to see these children, these supposed children, these alleged children. And I know there's tons of conspiracies floating around about these kids. All Harry and Meghan's fault, in my humble opinion, all their fault. So that's why he's coming on its face. And then the whole aspect of her and the kids coming as well. Why is she coming? Well, she needs to come, ladies and gentlemen. She has to come in order to get publicity, much needed publicity. What have we been talking about for the last 6 months regarding Meghan? Well, I would say for about the past year, right? I mean, this brand as ever debuted a little over a year ago now, hasn't done well. And especially in the last few months or so, everybody was talking about all that unsold inventory on her site, that website glitch that happened earlier in the year. It was made public how much wasn't selling. She's stuck with all of this. Netflix had it stuffed in a closet and was giving it away as gratis to people. So that was embarrassing enough. Second season of Netflix failed. The Christmas special this past December was not a hit. Just all of these things. And as ever, because it's not performing and it's not doing well, she has to ride on the coattails and bring herself and these supposed kids allegedly now. That's what she's doing. I don't think that she wants to, though. It's really weird. I think that there's a really big emotional tug of war going on with this woman. And when I say that, what I mean is that part of her, I think, is really, really scared. She knows she's really, really polarizing and not liked in the UK at all. People don't like her over there. And she's afraid of being booed. She's afraid of bad press over there. So on one hand, she doesn't want to come because of that, because I believe, in my opinion, she's a big fat bully and bullies are cowards. However, she has this need. She's compelled. She's a narcissist. So many of us believe that she is. The traits are there. The track record is there. They are compelled to get attention. They do not operate and function in any way other than getting attention. They need it almost as much as they need oxygen. Okay? She needs the constant outside validation. And it's not even so much that it matters that it's positive or negative press. It's just that people are giving her airtime. People are talking about her. They're just basically breathing her into existence more and more and more, with just her name being whispered and talked about on all of our lips. That's what she cares about. So it's this constant emotional tug of war with her, but there's a whole different dimension now being thrown in and adding to just the absurdness of this entire story, this new narrative about them coming over. And that is the privacy narrative that they have been furthering forever. She just gave a speech in Geneva talking about the dangers of online harms. And then she released that statement a few weeks after, trying to defend herself and try to position herself as being someone who's sharing. She's doing it selectively in the way that she blots their faces out. She's sharing, but in a safe way that's honoring their privacy and all this blah, blah, blah. So she's scared to come, but yet she desperately needs people to talk about her, that desperate bid for relevance. Then again, it's all countered now by the privacy narrative, right? Are they going to bring the kids? Are they going to show the kids what's happening? Oh my gosh. And it's like, okay, well, first and foremost, no official word from Buckingham Palace at all, whether or not it's confirmed that they are coming. Buckingham Palace doesn't want to comment on this. They've said as such. They're not commenting on Sussex travel plans. They're not going to do it. So everything that we're hearing is all Team Sussex. It's all their PR pieces that are being put out there. Now, there's so many people saying, oh my gosh, Charles is so weak. He's this, he's that. He's caving by allowing them to come. Well, first of all, what do we expect him to do? We'll get into a little bit about my opinions on what's going on there with Charles. But you guys, he's had a long-standing invitation out to Harry and Meghan for practically ever. There's always that invitation out. If you want to come, if you want to bring the kids, if it's, in his diary and he could do it, he'd be more than happy to meet them. The man's met the kids, I think, what? Well, he's met Lilibet once, Archie maybe a handful of times, if that, before they all escaped to America. So, of course, as a man closer to 80 than 70, he's going to want to see his grandkids and his son, even though he is the prodigal son. I mean, let's face it, okay? But he's not necessarily being weak in that sense of wanting to see them. Personally, I think that if he wants to reconcile behind the scenes, more power to you, all the live long day. Go for it. But what so many of us don't want to see is a public reinstating of Harry's place in the firm. I mean, I personally think that they would come back as working royals in a heartbeat if they weren't so deeply unpopular and if William wasn't so against it. So I just want to reinsert here again, all my opinion, but it's my channel, so here we go. Just forget all this Charles is weak stuff as it pertains to Harry visiting and this supposed trip that's coming up. Because again, I've told you before, my opinion, it's not so much him being weak. It's, remember, the invitation for Harry and Meghan to come over, since they've left the family, for them to come over and bring their children to visit. And this was even in effect for the Queen to a certain extent, but definitely for Charles. It's a long-standing open invitation. It's always there. And the reason why that invitation is always open, it makes Charles look like he is open to reconciliation, at least privately. At least he is practicing Christian charity and mercy and faith that good will prevail and that hopefully they will all reconnect. But long-standing open invitation. Thereby, if Harry does not come over, if Meghan doesn't come over and they don't bring the children, it makes them look bad. It makes them look like the petulant, silent, passive-aggressive aggressors, basically, is what it does. Because that's what it is. If they don't come over, they're just using the kids as pawns to get what they want in the way of the heightened royal security that William has. What William has, Harry wants. So that's why I believe firmly, in my opinion, that it's always been an open, long-standing invitation for Harry and Meghan to come over. It makes Charles look better in the situation, and it only serves to make Harry look more petulant and selfish. What the public does not want to see is a public reconciliation. The public is not down for Harry and Meghan to be reintroduced fully back into the royal fold, and they definitely do not want to see those two in a full-time working royal capacity. I don't think that that's what Harry and Meghan want. Harry and Meghan have always wanted half in, half out, to do whatever they want and to monetize everything. So we know that's not possible. But it's not like Buckingham Palace is releasing a statement saying, don't worry, everybody in the public. This is just a private visit. It has nothing to do with Charles being weak, and it has nothing to do with reinstating him back as a royal, working royal. I mean, they're not going to do that. We all know how they operate. They never complain. They never explain. They don't really say much. It's extremely rare if they say anything. And Harry and Meghan know this, and they capitalize on it. Because of all this ambiguity, they benefit. They benefit because they're always running their mouths off and presenting their side, which makes the palace look weak, essentially, in these instances. But it's all a private reconciliation. That's my opinion. It's private. And if Charles is smart, he wouldn't do anything to jeopardize his relationship with William. He already has a damaged and fragile relationship with Harry, but that's a different story. Harry's the spare. William is the one that's next in line. He's the one that is working, and he is the one that has a beautiful wife and beautiful children that are an asset to the future of the monarchy. So I don't think Charles is going to do anything to screw that up, but it's tough. It's a tough call all around because unfortunately just having Harry there meeting with Charles is upsetting William to no end, but he doesn't have to be around. His family doesn't have to be around. Charles can definitely meet with Harry and his family, independent of William's family. William doesn't have to have anything to do with this if he doesn't want to. And I think that, unfortunately, at this point in the game, William is keeping his distance because he has to, because he's been betrayed in the worst possible way. And I'm sure Catherine and William have just blessed and released Harry at this point. Really don't want anything to do with him. It's not like they're wishing ill will on him and his family, but they definitely don't want anything to do with him because they don't trust him. And who could blame them? So again, private, long-standing invitation extended by Charles. This is nothing new. Of course, they're going to stay somewhere on palace grounds. I don't know, Buckingham Palace, Windsor, whatever. Who cares? Just somewhere where they can be watched and people can keep an eye on them and what they're doing. I mean, where do we expect them to stay? Harry loves to stay at his hotels, you know that. But Meghan is definitely going to try to say that she stayed on palace grounds because she thinks that that's some huge indicator that she's been welcomed back fully, when that's not the case. They're just keeping an eye on them. Remember, this is all if they come, hypothetically. They could say that they're all there and that they went, but we're never going to see the kids. We'll see her before we see the kids. But that's if Meghan decides to bring the kids at all. They could do anything. They're impetuous, selfish, crazy wild cards. They do whatever they want. Anything that could benefit them in the moment. They're always trying to leverage their positions to try to squeeze anything out of any given situation whenever they can. So just expect anything from these two. Nothing can ever be quiet or dignified, private or straightforward. Not with this clown show. Moving on, let's get back to my thoughts on the dynamics of Charles and Harry's relationship. But getting back to Charles, you guys. Charles has always done whatever the heck Charles has wanted to do. He's always been spoiled. You know, he was the firstborn. He was preparing to be king ever since he was a child. He was indulged by his uncle Mountbatten. He's had mistresses his whole life. He wanted Camilla. He carried on affairs with Camilla while he was married. His mother was against him marrying her in the first place. So he caved and did what his mother wanted to do and marry Diana. But then what ended up happening? He still went back to Camilla. Their relationship ended up hurting the marriage he had with Diana. Diana was just torn and broken from it. She went down paths she probably shouldn't have gone anyway. But you know what? In my opinion, if Diana had had a strong and faithful husband in Charles, I think that history would have been very different. But okay, he made his choices. Things happened. Not to say that we need to absolve Diana of everything she's done, but we're all human. But she was a 19-year-old virgin when she married him, okay? He was 30, early 30s. He should have known better. But again, he's always done what he's wanted to do. He's always been like that. And then what did we have in the mid-2000s? He wanted to marry Camilla. He wanted to marry her. He insisted. They waited to kind of warm the public up to the idea. But then what was it? At the time when they got married, she wasn't going to ever take the title of queen. And he had assured the queen of that. And then slowly but surely that narrative started to change. And then he wanted her pronounced queen at the coronation. And now here we are. We got a Queen Camilla. My rambling point is, you guys, is that Charles has always done what Charles has wanted to do. And because of that, because of his behavior over the decades, I think he carries a lot of guilt. I think he carries a lot of guilt in what he did in his marriage to Diana. I think he carries a lot of guilt in being a single dad, trying to raise and rear up these boys, made a ton of mistakes with them. And you know what? Those boys held a lot of resentment against him for a lot of years. And William, I think, has risen above it for the most part and done what he needs to do in the way of duty. Harry, not so much. And I believe that Harry uses Charles's guilt against him for leverage to get what he wants. So I think that the guilt that Charles feels over his relationship with Harry, even before they were estranged, is a big reason why we find ourselves where we are now. But again, if he wants to reconcile with his son, great. Reconcile with him. But what people don't want to see is public reconciliation in the way of reinstatement into the family. That's what people don't want. So getting back to Charles's guilt, Harry knows Charles feels immense guilt. So Harry is trying to do everything he can to get everything out of Charles that he can before Charles passes. That is my opinion. He knows that time is running out, and he also knows that when Charles passes and William ascends, he won't have a lot of leverage or leeway in the way of getting his demands and his wants and needs met. William is not going to play his reindeer games. That's not going to happen. But despite all of this, I don't know what Harry expects. I think he wants to get his father alone in a room to bend his ear and to try to get, money out of him, to try to sway him, to somehow get his security back or something. We all know that Ravik makes that determination, not the king. Buckingham Palace and the king have both said as much, is that it's in Ravik's hands, not the king and not the palace. But Harry seems to be under the delusion, and he certainly was in that BBC interview last May, that, I don't even talk to my father because of this security stuff. And he really thinks that it all comes down to Charles saying yay or nay on this matter. That's how spoiled and selfish and impetuous Harry is. He figures that if he yells loud, or yells the loudest, I guess, and stomps his foot, that he's going to get what he wants. So is he bringing his kids back to bond with his dad, or is he just trying to use them as bargaining chips to get what he wants or what he thinks he can get? Yeah, that's what I think is happening here. But all this garbage about how Charles is bending the knee to Harry and, he's going to give him security and he's going to give him more of what he wants. That's not what's happening here, you guys. Team Sussex announced this visit, 28 days prior to them arriving? And that's what they need to do to give Ravik time to develop a bespoke security plan for them. That's the condition. What Harry is pissed about is that he lost 24/7 armed security and the freedom to come and go whenever he pleases. That's what he lost. And access to intelligence. That's what he lost, and that's what he's pissed off about. But he still gets security when he comes. It's just not the style that he wants, because that's what William has. And what William has, Harry wants. So that's what's going on here. So they made their announcement, and they had to do it that way because Ravik needs its 28 days. Okay? Because Ravik needs to coordinate everything. They need to coordinate all these details with all these different government agencies and the police and all of that. They have to coordinate everything, and they have to share information. I guess someone could say, well, of course, Harry and Meghan have to make this announcement because they have to get ahead of the narrative. Because if they just showed up without context in the country, it would just be this paparazzi hysteria. And it's like, no, that's BS too. They could go over completely privately on royal estates as per Charles's invitation and never even see a camera. They would be completely shielded, all of it. And that's what's kind of ticking me off about this whole thing, is because All they're doing is they're trying to maximize headlines. They're trying to maintain their narrative, because what they're trying to do is they're just trying to leave that door open for speculation about whether the kids are going to appear, whether all four of them are going to come. They want front page media coverage for weeks leading up to this trip. And that's exactly what they're getting. They're controlling their narrative because they're control freaks, and they want to announce this arrival, but they don't want to draw that line in the sand regarding their public schedule, regarding what else they have planned while they're here, because all they want to do is spin all these endless hypothetical scenarios, which serves to do what? Keep them at the center of the news cycle. If they wanted to, in these so-called announcements that they were coming over, they could have said, Harry's coming in a professional capacity, working his foundation, and he's going to do that event. And then they also could have said, Meghan and the children are coming. However, they will not be public facing on this trip. They will be meeting with the king, and it will be a private family visit. But they're not doing that, are they? Because they want the speculation. They want everyone to just be like, oh my gosh, are they bringing the kids? Are we finally going to see the kids? But wait, how can we see the kids when they say that they're all into privacy and that everything online is dangerous for their children and security? Like, this is all it is. It's just their garbage, their hypothetical scenario garbage, keeping them in the middle of all of this. So one of two scenarios is going to happen, you guys. They're going to take advantage of this heightened news cycle now for a whole month practically. And then at the 11th hour, make some announcement that Meghan can't come and bring the kids because of security or maybe illness or something. Something's going to happen, and it's just going to be him. But at least they'll have stayed in the news cycle and gotten a lot of attention and fed their egos, right? And then again, they have even more leverage to use over the king and more sob stories to tell us in any subsequent interviews that we'll get toward the end of the year or into the next about how he would have loved to brought them over, but oh, it's so dangerous in the UK. It's so dangerous for his family. Well, it looks like it's dangerous in the US for your family too, Harry. You never take your kids anywhere in the US anyway either. So apparently it's dangerous for them everywhere they go. So anyway, whatever. Or she will come. She'll bring the kids, allegedly, but the kids will always be behind locked and closed doors, and they'll release a few stories saying that the king met with them and it was a wonderful little meeting behind closed doors and the king was so pleased, something along those lines. And then of course she'll show up. If she does come, she'll show her big fat face over at the little Invictus game thing, and she'll be flashing the veneers and merching the outfits on one-off, and it's just same old, same old. Personally, I think that Harry is trying to squeeze a little bit more money out of his father. I think that there are things that he wants from Charles, maybe things that we don't even know about, because the royal family's finances are basically hidden from the public, specifically in things that are inherited, all that type of stuff. So I think that he needs something from Charles. Some people are out there speculating that this is going to be the big reveal for the kids. I don't think so, and that's just my personal opinion. I would love to be proven wrong, though, because these kids really need to get legitimized in a really big way. Harry and Meghan are doing a huge disservice to these kids by just reducing them to internet conspiracy. That's exactly what they've done practically the entire time they've been alive, or at least the entire time they've been in the United States. If you're going to call your children prince and princess, and they're still in the line of succession, we need to see their faces. First and foremost, they need to be seen to be believed, Meghan. So just the fact that you blot their faces out with these stupid little heart emojis is absurd. It's absurd on its face. So I would love to be proven wrong, because I want to see them. I want to see their faces, and not because I care so much about the kids, but I care about those poor children's reputations. And I I care about the fact that, again, their parents have just reduced them to internet speculation and fodder at this point, which is a disgrace. You know, if you're really caring about your children and keeping them from harm and you're worried about their privacy and this and that, you could just show them and legitimize them in the eyes of the public and then just carry on your lives. Like I always say, release a portrait once a year or something. And again, not that everyone really cares, but if they're going to be in the line, that's what the public expectation is. I understand that they figured that they wanted to carve out their own, their own progressive role. And she wanted to carve out the way that she was going to present Archie when he was first born and blah, blah, blah. Well, that would be great if you went along with your original narrative, was that he was going to be Master Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, right? He was just going to be a master. He wasn't going to be a prince. They didn't want that for them. Then they should have stuck with that. And in that event, everyone speculating and everyone saying, what do they look like? Do they exist? We would all be forced to shut up, because if they're really private in that sense and not prince or princess, then they're private and everyone needs to pipe down. But they walked back that original narrative, and now they want them to be prince and princess. They want them to be in the line. Okay, well then fine. Then show us that they exist. Okay? You can do that and still keep them very, very safe. George and Charlotte and Louis are very, very safe. And they're in a loving family. And they are being parented by two individuals that value their privacy at this stage in their life and value them enough to not treat them like pawns in a sick, sick game. And that's what Harry and Meghan do. So I don't think that we're going to see these kids. I think that they're going to say that they were there, and maybe they will be there, but they're going to be behind closed doors. We ain't going to see them. It's going to be some articles coming out. Oh, His Majesty met his grandchildren and he was so pleased. I mean, that's going to be it, basically. We'll get a couple of articles about how he was so happy to finally see them. So happy to finally see Lily after over 4 years. Great. I wish them all well, but we ain't going to see him. I would love to stand corrected, but Meghan isn't desperate enough yet for that move. That's my honest opinion. So you can let me know what you guys think down below. I know a ton of you. I know you guys so well. You're going to be like, yeah, how can we see the kids when they don't even exist? I mean, so many of you are like, yeah, these kids don't exist, Jennifer. Hello. And you know what? I don't even blame you for thinking that. I don't blame you, because Harry and Meghan are freaking nut jobs. And this is where we are, you guys. And speaking of nut jobs, she had to be really, really desperate to unveil this disgusting concoction on her Instagram. And we all saw that last week, did we not? And I was scratching my head. I was like, what is this? This looks so unbelievable. What is this sludge? It looks disgusting. And then, of course, everyone's talking about it. And everyone was talking about how it was disgusting looking, because it really did look disgusting looking. But it's this strawberry jam matcha beverage. And it's apparently sold out on her website already. I went to the website yesterday and it was sold out. In my mind, that means she probably had 500 units that she moved. But who knows? Who knows? We're never going to get a clear-cut answer there, are we? But this was $56, a strawberry matcha set. And if you saw that video, what they do is they put her as ever spread at the bottom of a glass of ice. And then they mix, I guess you're told to mix either water or cold milk, whether it's a dairy milk or whether it's a plant-based milk. You whisk that together with the Clever Blends matcha super latte powder, and then you float that on top. And then you're supposed to garnish it with dried flower petals. Now, what is everyone saying? She's got a potential $5 million profit loss, and she can't offload these mass amounts of this spread. That's why she's basically collabing with Clever Blends. Well, first of all, I think she probably called up Clever Blends and was like, hey, I have a stake in this company. You better do this with me because I need to move this. It's not a true collab, okay? True collabs are usually when two companies stand to benefit. I don't think Clever Blends stands to benefit by associating with this woman and all the negative press that accompanies anything that she does. But the public backlash against this drink was hot and fierce. I mean, people were saying it looked vile, it looked unappetizing, it was clumpy, it looked gross. And the reason why is because I found out that this wasn't just something that Meghan threw together. She's actually copying a very, very popular Instagram and TikTok beverage. And apparently there's this company that specializes in these matcha drinks and these boba teas. And it's a company called Boba Guys. And they're really popular in the US on the East and West coasts. And they're the ones that popularized this iconic drink, okay? But the way that they do it is so different from the way that Meghan is doing it on her socials and on her website. And I just felt like, wait a minute, if someone had never heard of this beverage and just saw what Meghan was doing, they would be like, that's disgusting. That looks like sludge. It literally looks like vomit in a glass, right? But there's a way to do it that actually sounds really, really yummy. And the way that you're supposed to do it is that you're supposed to use smooth fruit purees or macerated syrups. And you just basically take fresh strawberries with a little bit of sugar and hot water and you blend so that it's not this gel type of like gelatinous jam spread type of mass that's just sitting on the bottom, not blending and just kind of just being real soupy and gross. Because when you use the super smooth fruit purees and the syrups, it's supposedly so much better. So what you're technically supposed to do, the way that these professionals in these boba shops do it, is they have 3 layers. The first layer is that base of that super smooth strawberry syrup or puree. You have your second layer, which is either your cold plant-based milk or your whole dairy milk. And that's poured on top of the ice. And on top, what you're supposed to put is something called ceremonial grade matcha powder, foamed and mixed and kind of frothed up so that it's kind of very airy. And ceremonial green matcha powder basically is just the actual matcha powder. There's nothing mixed in with it, and that's what gives it that kind of airy texture. This Clever Blends latte sludge that they're peddling, it's one of these just add water formulations. It's kind of like an instant latte mix, but it already contains high concentrations of oat and coconut milk solids already in it, because you're supposed to be able to just add the hot milk and just have that instant latte drink. But the problem is that in this recipe, it's just that jam sludge on the bottom with that Clever Blends matcha latte mix on top, and it's very thick and it's very sludgy. What's supposed to happen, it's supposed to be 3 beautiful layers. It's supposed to be super smooth fruit puree on the bottom. It's supposed to be the ice and the white, beautiful, pristine plant or dairy milk in the middle. And then it's supposed to be that airy matcha latte, green latte on top. Is supposed to be a perfect blend of that layered 3-tiered taste experience. But you don't have that with her sludgy version. You just have this spread on the bottom that's super thick, that's not going to liquefy into the drink to give it that smooth feel. And then you've got that heavy latte matcha powder that just serves as like sludge laying on top of it. That's not how it's supposed to be made or experienced when you drink it. It's just gross. And the thing is that if she had done any type of research or cared about her customers, she would have known that this thick spread that she's got mixed with this pre-blended plant milk matcha powder, it's not going to produce these really, really beautiful and kind of light, foamy, airy strawberry matcha drinks that's so popular everywhere. It's completely different. It's 2 completely different drinks. But she's getting desperate and she has to move this inventory. So that's why she's trying to tie it in and kind of hoping that people won't know, that they won't know that this isn't what these strawberry matcha drinks are supposed to be like. To be fair, this Clever Blends, it's one of those pre-mixed latte drinks. Like I said before, it would probably be a fairly decent standalone instant product when you just mix it with your milk, hot milk, or your hot water. But it's just a culinary error, so to speak, when you're blending this all-in-one instant mix as if it was pure matcha powder, and then you put it on top of this spread sludge. That is not a strawberry green matcha drink by any stretch. So if you had never heard of this strawberry matcha drink and wanted to try it, you can, but you need to make yourself a smooth strawberry fruit puree on the bottom. Put your ice, put the milk of your choice, and then use a matcha powder that is just straight matcha powder that doesn't have any type of milk solids in them, whether it's dairy milk or plant milk. And there's so many great YouTube recipes out there, videos that I saw that you can watch. I'll link one for you from the actual Boba Guys channel where they talk about different ways how you can make it at home and how you can get it blended professionally at one of their cafes and the little variances between the two. But it's just really sad, you guys. It's just really sad that she's so desperate that she just is going to try to push her stuff on us any way she can. But this is just indicative of how she lives her life in so many ways, you know, just kind of pushing herself onto everybody. She hasn't gone away for 6 years when she really could have, when she could have had a private life, when she could have had a nice, beautiful life with her husband and her supposed kids. I don't understand what compels these people to constantly shove themselves in our faces all the time. And then what has she done for the past year? Shove these boring and basic products in front of us at these exorbitant prices and try to get us excited about it. It's just so sad. So that's all it is. Fake, inauthentic recipes, fake privacy narratives. This is what we're going to be listening to for the next month about how they're all coming over here. Are we going to see the kids' faces? Are we not going to see the kids' faces? That's where I stand right now on all of this. I don't think we're going to see these kids. Like I said, if they do come over, it's going to be behind lock and key. No one's going to see anything. But then again, there's tons of people out there that don't even think that these kids exist in the first place. Just like how an idea for a good product doesn't exist in Meghan's mind, apparently. This is what we're getting. Inauthentic, fake strawberry matcha recipes that aren't real strawberry matcha recipes. It's just sad. This is just the very definition of inauthentic content. And I don't know if you guys caught my video I did last week where I was literally cracking myself up to Meghan's Instagram dump for all those pictures that she put out, that 11 photo dump. We'll probably be serving up something for us soon because this is just what the woman does. For right now, though, what I think she's comfortable with is just everyone talking about, are they coming? Are they not coming? Oh my gosh, because at least she's getting that attention. And you know, she's going in her room at night with her wine, firing up her laptop, looking at everything that everyone's saying out there. Hi, Meghan. But yeah, I will not be trying that green matcha sludge strawberry drink of hers. I'd rather go to McDonald's and get the Grimace shake with my kids, okay? That looks way more appetizing. But you know, according to Meghan's website, it's sold out. So God love all those people that spent almost $60 to drink sludge. I feel really bad for them. And yeah, so hopefully I've given you some idea about what the real strawberry matcha, green matcha drink is supposed to be like. Actually, it looks pretty good when prepared properly. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about all of this garbage. It's just exhausting. It's completely exhausting. Meghan better come up with some ideas for how she needs to be marketing this spread really, really quick, because think about it. So because of the specific formulation of this spread, the low sugar content, no artificial preservatives, and the fact that the majority of her inventory was manufactured during that production ramp up that she had in mid to late 2025. Okay, so unopened commercial jam or spread typically lasts 1 to 2 years in a pantry. Now, who knows where this stuff is? Is it in some type of warehouse? Hopefully this warehouse is air conditioned. Am I right? So the ingredients in her website for the spread for example, the raspberry spread, it's got raspberries, pure cane sugar, organic lemon juice concentrate, and fruit pectin. So just the fact that it's these 4 ingredients alone, it has a shorter sell-by window. According to Google, because of the low sugar content, the fact that there's no artificial preservatives, the longest that her inventory can sit unopened on a warehouse shelf ready to be sold and shipped would be summer 2027. So that gives her exactly a year from now. That is not good, you guys. She has a year to offload all of this remaining stock. So that's why we're getting recipes for this sludge, this inauthentic strawberry matcha latte drink, because she stands to lose potentially anywhere from 5 to 9 million of a loss in unsold products. Wow. No es bueno. Okay. Got a real problem on her hands. She needs to slash these spreads, and I mean by 50% on the website. You know she won't do it because ego will not allow her to. Because in her mind, that's admitting defeat to all of us. So she would rather sell old, crappy spread to people than risk looking like a failure. How sad is this? But it's not morally or ethically responsible to sell things past their spoilage date. So that's what we have, you guys. Shorter sell by window and not looking good. What do you guys think she's gonna do? I don't know. I mean, maybe if she gets really desperate, she will start slashing these prices. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like how she's super desperate for relevance. So that's why she's supposedly going over to the UK for the summer. She's a wild card, you guys. She is a real wild card. Who the hell knows what's going on behind the scenes at the McMansion over in Montecito? But I gotta tell you, I would not want to be Harry, okay? I would be sleeping with one eye open if I were Harold, because this isn't looking good, you guys. It's not looking good. She's going to be 5 million in the hole because of spread that she can't sell. I don't know, you guys. All right, I've babbled on long enough about invisible children and Charles's guilt and sludge matcha lattes and spoiled jars of spread. This is what my life has come to, you guys. But I do it for you. We don't wish her ill will over here on this channel. We really don't. But what I do wish is a come to Jesus moment, and I wish a moment of just clarity for this woman, real clarity. Maybe she should go down to the boba guy's boba tea shop, get herself a real authentic strawberry green matcha latte, sip it, and start getting some clarity, because this can't continue, you guys. This can't go on. So I'm probably going to make another video in a week or so, just telling you about what's going on with the move and what to expect with the channel. It just gets a little crazy and it gets a little harried when you have to move. And, you know, when I first got to Germany, I didn't have my setup, I didn't have my lights, and I didn't have a lot of stuff. I just basically had a laptop and a microphone, and I was relying on natural light. So things kind of get a little sketchball for a bit, but I know you guys will bear with me no matter what equipment I have or what's going on. I just wanted to let you know what's going on. So let me know what you guys think about all of this fakery down below in the comment section. I can't wait to see what you have to say about it. I love you all so much for hanging out, and I will talk to you very soon.